You can earn 18 lakhs a year and feel completely broke. And you can earn the exact same 18 lakhs and feel untouchable. Same salary. The difference comes down to one number almost nobody in India can name. Meet Arjun and Rohit. Same job, same company, same 18 lakh annual package that lands in their accounts on the same first of the month. Same office cafeteria lunch, same commute on the metro. On paper, you could not tell them apart. Then both their cars break down the same week. Same workshop, the same 65,000 rupees, repair bill for each of them. Arjun taps his card and goes back to scrolling Instagram, doesn't flinch. Rohit reads the bill 3 times, feels his stomach drop, and opens his banking app to figure out which EMI he can push to next month, which credit card has remaining limit, and whether he should call his father. Same salary, same bill. Two completely different humans. And what separates Arjun from Rohit is not discipline. It is not luck. And it is definitely not the salary. It is a number neither of them ever talks about openly because Indian families don't really discuss it. Net worth, there are 3 specific points on that number line where life quietly stops feeling like a treadmill and starts feeling like something else entirely. I'm going to walk you through all 3 today. If you have ever felt like you are working hard but standing still, hit subscribe right now because today we are mapping the 3 net worth levels where your entire experience of money changes in India. And I will warn you, the 3rd level does something to people that almost nobody sees coming. Plenty of Indians reach it and are still miserable. The research finally explains why. We will get there. But the 1st level is closer than you think. Now, before we jump into the 3 levels, let me share the framing that changes everything about how you should look at your money. Here is the framing that makes all of this click. Indians obsess over salary. What is your package? What is your CTC? What is your appraisal this year? Auntie at a wedding will ask your salary before she asks your name. But salary is just water flowing through your hands. Net worth is what is actually left in the bucket after the salary flows through. Your EMIs, your rent, your weekend Swiggy, your big basket, your parents' medical insurance, your sister's wedding contribution. After everything flows out, what stays? That is your net worth. And it turns out the bucket has 3 lines painted on the inside. 3 levels where once you cross them, the water starts behaving differently. Arjun had crossed the first line. Rohit had not. That is the entire story of the car repair. So let us start with level 1, which is 25 lakhs. I am calling this level escape velocity, and I will explain why. 25 lakhs, I know for some of you, that number feels impossibly far away. And for others, it feels almost insultingly small. Stay with me. This is the most important threshold in the entire video. And the math behind it is genuinely beautiful. Why 25 lakhs specifically? Because 25 lakhs is roughly the median household net worth threshold above which an urban Indian family meaningfully moves out of paycheck to paycheck stress. According to AIDIS 2019 data updated for 2026 estimates, the average urban Indian household net worth is around 27 lakhs. So 25 lakhs is the line that separates you from the median Indian household and gets you into genuinely above average territory. But the more important reason is mathematical. Let me show you. Say you are saving and investing 25,000 rupees a month through a disciplined SIP, earning a realistic 12% CAGR, which is what 30 years of Nifty 50 data supports as a reasonable expectation. Getting from 0 to your first 25 lakhs takes you roughly 6 to 7 years. And here is the brutal part. During those years, the market is barely helping you. Almost every rupee in that account is a rupee you personally earned, saved, and refused to spend. It is a slog. It feels slow because it is slow. But watch what happens after you cross 25 lakhs. Going from 25 lakhs to 50 lakhs does not take another 7 years. It takes about 4. From 50 lakhs to 1 crore, about 5 more years, not 7. From 1 crore to 2 crore, less than 5 years. Here's the part that should make you sit up. Going from 5 crore to 10 crore takes about the same time it took you to scrape together your first 25 lakhs. Except now, you are generating 20 times the wealth in that same window. Same effort, same patience, wildly different output. Why? Because somewhere around 25 lakhs, your money quietly clocked in for its first day of work. At 25 lakhs invested at 12% CAGR, your portfolio throws off about 3 lakhs a year on its own. That is 25,000 rupees a month earned by money while you were asleep. You spent 6 years pushing the snowball uphill, and at 25 lakhs, it crests the top and starts rolling down the other side on its own. But the real magic of 25 lakhs is not the math at all. It is what it does to your brain. And this brings me to what I call the cognitive tax of not having it. There is a study I think about constantly. Researchers from Princeton ran experiments where they took regular shoppers and asked them to imagine a car repair scenario, exactly the situation Arjun and Rohit just walked through. For half the people, the repair cost was small. For the other half, it was significant, the kind that would force them to think about cash flow. Then they had everyone take a standard cognitive test, the kind that measures raw problem solving ability. The wealthier shoppers, no difference between the two groups. They did equally well, whether the imaginary repair was small or large. But the lower income shoppers, who had to mentally figure out how to actually handle the larger repair, scored dramatically worse, about a full standard deviation lower on cognitive ability. Same people, same brains. The only thing that changed was that they spent 30 seconds worrying about money they did not have. The researchers' own description of the effect is what haunts me. They said the cognitive impact of financial scarcity is comparable to losing a full night of sleep. So, picture going through your entire Indian middle class life. Every decision, every conversation, every parenting moment, every shot at a promotion, every wedding you have to attend, every medical bill from parents, every job interview, permanently a little sleep deprived. Not because you are tired, but because some part of your mind is always running a background calculation about whether you can cover an emergency. That is Rohit in the parking lot. His brain is not worse than Arjun's. It is just taxed. And it is not rare in India. According to RBI's latest household savings data, India's household savings rate has fallen to just 5.3% of GDP, the lowest in over 2 decades. According to multiple consumer financial wellness surveys, over 60% of Indian urban middle class households cannot handle a sudden 1 lakh rupee expense without going into debt. Over 70% cannot cover 3 months of expenses from savings alone. That is not a discipline problem. That is a cushion problem. 25 lakhs in liquid net worth buys you out of that. Not into a Mercedes, not into a sea-facing flat, into quiet, into a brain that is not humming with low-grade financial static. That is why it is level 1. It is not about getting rich. It is about getting your mind back. Quick honesty check before we climb higher. Be real with yourself here because the next 2 levels only matter once you have nailed this one. Are you below this line, sitting right on it, or past it? Hold that answer in your head. It will change how you hear everything that comes next. Now, let us move on to level 2, which is the range between 1 crore and 5 crore. This is the level where I say your money gets a job. Okay. You have hit escape velocity. The financial static is gone. Your brain is back. Now what? Now you enter the strangest, most psychologically interesting stretch of the whole journey, the climb from 1 crore to 5 crore. And the reason it is strange is that for the first time, the most productive earner in your household might not be a person. Let us go back to the math because it tells the whole story. At 1 crore invested at 12% CAGR, your portfolio generates around 12 lakhs a year. That is 1 lakh per month. Sit with that. 1 lakh appearing in your account every month, produced by nothing but money you already had. For context, that is roughly what a senior software engineer in Bengaluru takes home after tax. Your portfolio is now pulling in a respectable second income, and it does not call in sick. It does not ask for a hike. It does not complain about traffic. It does not hate Mondays. And at 5 crore, that same 12% throws off about 60 lakhs a year. That is 5 lakhs a month, which is significantly more than most senior corporate professionals earn in India. Read that again. At 5 crore invested, your money out-earns a director-level salary at a top Indian company. And it does it while you sleep, while you are on a vacation in Manali, while you are doing literally anything else. This is the level where the phrase work optional stops being a fantasy you see on Instagram and some fire guru's reel and starts being something you can actually see on the horizon. You are not there yet, but you can see it. And seeing it changes how you carry yourself. Let me show you what level 2 actually feels like in real Indian life. It is the meeting where your boss says something genuinely unreasonable Maybe it is the casual demand to work the weekend. Maybe it is the toxic comment about your wife's working hours. Maybe it is the manager who keeps holding your appraisal hostage. And instead of swallowing it, you realize, almost surprised by yourself, that you could walk. You will not today, but you could. That single internal shift, knowing you have a real choice, quietly rewires how you negotiate, what you tolerate, and how much of your self respect you are willing to trade for an EMI. It also shows up in smaller, almost invisible ways. It is not checking the rate of every Ola or Uber ride at peak surge. It is booking the direct Indigo flight instead of two layovers to save 4,000 rupees. It is the geyser dying in winter and the entire crisis lasting 4 minutes. You search for a service, book it, it is done. No drama, no EMI conversation. None of these are luxuries. They are friction being quietly removed from your week, one decision at a time. And the strange thing is, most people at this level do not even notice when it happens. They just slowly stop bracing for impact. Now, let me put into perspective just how rare this level actually is in India. According to the World Inequality Report 2026, the top 10% of Indians hold 65% of the country's total wealth. The top 1% holds 40%. And what is the net worth threshold to enter India's top 1%? Research based estimates from World Inequality Lab and AIDIS data put it at around 1.5 crore at the individual level and roughly 2.5 to 3 crore at the household level. So if you cross 1 crore as an individual, you are in genuinely rare air. You are above approximately 95% of Indian adults by net worth. If you cross 3 crore as a household, you are in India's top 1%. That is not a number to be quiet about. That is a number that has structural meaning. The problem is, it rarely feels that way. And there is a reason. Let me tell you about the trap that quietly destroys most Indians at this level. The trap is called lifestyle inflation. And it is the silent assassin of this entire stage in India. Every time your salary goes up, there is a gravitational pull to let your spending drift up right behind it. Researchers call this the hedonic treadmill. You get the raise, you get the BMW, and within about a year, the BMW just feels like your car. The thrill evaporates, but the EMI stays. So you upgrade again, chasing a high that keeps resetting to zero, bigger flat, maybe a second flat, international school for the kids, foreign holidays you start posting on Instagram. This is how Indian professionals pulling 50 lakhs a year still end up financially anxious. Their money never gets a chance to take that second job because every rupee gets drafted into a bigger home loan, EMI, a leased luxury car, a 1.2 lakh per month school fee for one child, and a lifestyle that quietly eats the future to feed the present. And India has a uniquely painful version of this. Social obligation spending. The cousin's wedding you contribute generously to because everyone knows you have done well. The parents' medical bill you absorb. The family vacation you fund because you are the one who can. The festival contributions that keep escalating because you showed up bigger last time. None of these feel optional, but they add up and they compound in the wrong direction. Level 2 is not really about earning more. It is about having the nerve to let the gap between what you earn and what you spend stay open long enough for compounding to walk through it. So notice the pattern forming. Level 1 did not add a luxury. It subtracted a fear, the fear of the emergency. Level 2 subtracts another one, the fear of being trapped by a single employer or a toxic workplace. And each level you climb is not about adding stuff to your life. It is about removing fears from it. Keep that in mind because level 3 removes the biggest fear of all. And it is the one almost nobody is prepared for. Now let us talk about level 3, which is the range between 7 crore and 10 crore. I call this the level where you finally buy back your time. There is an Indian concept that captures what this level is really about. The Tamil word swatantra, the Hindi word azadi, freedom, not the political kind. The kind where no person, no boss, no bank can make you do something you do not want to do. Level 3 is when azadi becomes a number you can actually calculate. And the number is mathematically perfect. It is built on one of the most tested ideas in all of personal finance. It is called the 4% rule. But for India, because our inflation runs at 6 to 7%, more conservative researchers recommend using a 3 to 3.5% safe withdrawal rate, which gives us a beautifully simple shortcut. Whatever you spend in a year, multiply it by 30. That is your Indian fire number, the point where your investments can fund your life basically forever. Let us run it for India in 2026. If your annual household expenses are 12 lakhs, your number is 3.6 crores. If you spend 18 lakhs a year, you need around 5.5 crores. And if you want to live a comfortable upper middle class Indian life at 24 lakhs of annual spending without working another day, you need approximately 7 crores. If you want to be genuinely comfortable in a tier 1 Indian city with private school fees, 2 cars, regular vacations, and a paid off home, you're looking at around 10 crore. Look at where that puts you. 10 crore puts you firmly inside the top half of 1% of all Indian households. According to multiple wealth distribution studies, this is the rare air of less than 0.5% of Indian households. And honestly, this is the level I see Indians get most wrong because the math finally works and they assume the meaning will show up automatically. It does not. And this brings me to the uncomfortable truth about money and happiness that nobody really wants to say out loud. They think level 3 is about stuff. The duplex in DLF Phase 5, the Range Rover, the Patek Philippe watch that costs more than most Indian cars. It is not. Because by the time you reach this level, the research says something almost cruel is waiting for many people. For years, the famous Princeton study everyone quoted said happiness flatlines once you hit a certain income threshold. That past that point, more money just stops moving the needle. Then a researcher named Matthew Killingsworth came along, tracked over 1 million real-time mood reports from thousands of people, and found that wasn't quite true. Happiness kept rising along with income, with no clear ceiling. So, who was right? The two researchers eventually got in a room together and worked it out. For most people, the roughly 80% who are already reasonably content, more money really does keep buying more happiness all the way up. But for the unhappy 20%, money relieves their suffering up to a moderate threshold and then it just stops because their unhappiness was never really about money in the first place, and no amount of net worth can buy your way out of a problem that money did not cause. That is the secret hiding inside level 3 in India. The Indians who reach 10 crore and stay miserable are the ones who thought the number itself was the destination. The Indians who reach 10 crore and finally feel different are the ones who use the number to buy the only thing money can actually purchase that matters in the long run. Control over their own time, waking up without an alarm, saying yes to the people they love and no to the work they hate, being there for their children's school events without an apology to their boss, visiting their parents without rationing their leaves, picking the project they want, not the project that pays the most. Level 1 bought back a quiet mind. Level 2 bought back options. Level 3 buys back your one finite non-renewable resource, the actual hours of your life, from anyone who used to own them. That is the whole game. That is what is really on the other side of that number. Now, I want to talk to you directly. If you are sitting there feeling like you are nowhere near level 1, if you are thinking, Shivani, I am not even at level 1 yet. I have credit card debt. My emergency fund is barely a month of expenses. This is depressing. Stop. I need you to hear this clearly. The fact that these levels are rare in India is not a reason to feel behind. It is the entire reason they are worth chasing. Nearly 75% of Indian middle-class households cannot cover 3 months of expenses from savings alone. The bar to feel genuinely different is not infinite wealth. It is a cushion, then a choice, then your time back. That is it. And the most encouraging part is the part we started with. The hardest, slowest, most thankless stretch of this whole journey in India is the climb to that first 25 lakhs. The part where it is all you and the market is barely helping. Where you are saying no to Goa trips your friends are taking. Where you are extending the EMI on the bike instead of upgrading the laptop. Where every WhatsApp uncle is telling you to put money in real estate or fixed deposits. Almost everyone who quits right there in the slog, right before the snowball crests the hill. If you can just outlast the boring part, the math stops working against you and starts working for you. You do not have to get smarter, you just have to get stubborn. Before I let you go, here is the reframe I want to leave you with. In India, we have been trained to measure ourselves by salary. The number on the pay slip, the designation on the LinkedIn profile, the CTC we would admit to at a family dinner. But salary is just the speed of the water, net worth is the size of the bucket. Arjun and Rohit are two Indians with identical 18 lakh salaries and completely different lives in that parking lot. The only thing that ever separated them was which line in the bucket they had quietly crossed. Arjun was not richer on payday, he was just further along the number line. That is it. That is the whole difference. You do not reach level 3 by accident, and you do not reach level 1 overnight, but you get there one boring, unglamorous, automated SIP contribution at a time. So pick your level, not the fantasy one, the next one, the one that is actually within reach from wherever you are standing today. Because 10 years from now, that money is either going to be quietly working for you the way it works for Arjun, or you are going to be working around the lack of it the way Rohit does. And I know which version of that parking lot moment I would rather be living. Drop a comment below and tell me which level you are climbing toward right now. Level 1, the first 25 lakhs of quiet. Level 2, the 1 crore to 5 crore of options. Or level 3, the 7 to 10 crore of Azadi. I read every single comment. Subscribe to Shivani Talks Money for more real personal finance content every week. And if you want to know what changes psychologically the moment you actually hit 50 lakhs in savings, the brutal truth nobody is telling you, go watch my next video right here.